We are now on record. Participants should be aware that this proceeding is being recorded, and as such, all conversations held will be recorded unless there is a request and agreement to go off record. Private conversations and/or attorney-client interaction should be held outside the presence of the remote interface. For the purpose of creating a witness-only video recording, the witness is being spotlighted or locked on all video screens while in speaker view. We ask that the witness not remove the spotlight setting during the deposition, as it may cause other participants to appear in the final video rather than just the witness. For anyone who does not want the witness's video to take up a large part of your screen, you may click the gallery view button in the upper right corner. This is the remote video recorded deposition of Rey Navarro. Today is Monday, March 15th, 2021. The time is now 1:05 UTC, 9:05 EDT. We are here in the matter of ADP LLC versus David Schwartz. My name is Todd Roller, Remote Video Tech on behalf of U.S. Legal Support. I am not related to any party in this action, nor am I financially interested in the outcome. At this time, will reporter Michelle Hordinsky, on behalf of U.S. Legal Support, please enter the statement for remote proceedings into the record, and please swear in the witness.
The attorneys participating in this deposition acknowledge that I am not physically present in the deposition room and that I will be reporting this deposition remotely. They further acknowledge that in lieu of an oath administered in person, I will administer the oath remotely. This arrangement is pursuant to the Florida Supreme Court Administrative Order number AOSC 2032. The parties and their counsel consent to this arrangement and waive any objections to this manner of reporting. Please indicate your agreement by stating your name and your agreement on the record, beginning with plaintiff's counsel.
Mario Ruiz, representing ADP, and we agree.
Mr. Goodman.
Robert Goodman on behalf of Parrish and Goodman, and we agree.
Okay, please raise your right hand to be sworn, Mr. Navarro. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Goodman.
Okay. Mr. Navarro, can you state your name for the record, please?
Reynaldo Navarro,
And your date of birth?
February 7th, 1973.
And where do you reside?
11128 Sparkleberry Drive, Fort Myers, Florida, 33913.
Okay. And do you have a telephone number?
Area code 239-896-3118.
Okay. And have you ever been deposed before?
No, sir.
Okay. Have you ever been involved in litigation previously? Whether as a witness or a plaintiff or a party defendant?
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, I apologize. I'm not too aware of the terminology, the legal terminologies, but I believe so.
Okay. Have you been sued?
No.
Have you ever sued anybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me briefly about that?
It was ADP for what I believe was I was treated unfairly because of my age.
Okay. Anything else?
I mean, there's car accidents. I don't know if those count as such.
Okay. And so we are here today. You've been called as a witness in a lawsuit between ADP and my client, David Schwartz. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And for full disclosure, in the room with me is our client, David Schwartz, my partner, Joe Parrish, and a consulting expert of ours named Jeff Danik, who is a former FBI agent who specialized in cybersecurity and other white-collar related crimes. So I just want that to be on the record for full disclosure that he's in the room with us today. I'm going to go through some ground rules with you and just make sure that we're kind of communicating. So I'll be asking you some questions in which you're required to respond verbally. The court reporter can't take down nodding or nonverbal answers, okay?
Yes, sir.
If there's a question that I ask that you don't understand or it's confusing to you in any manner, please let me know and I'll try to rephrase the question so we both are understanding the question as I intended to ask it, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you want to take a break at any time, please let me know and we'll take a break. However, if a question is pending, I'm going to want you to answer it unless your attorney instructs you not to answer based on privilege. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And do you have an attorney of your own with you here today?
No, sir.
Can you start off by telling me a little bit of your work background and career? Who are you currently employed by?
Bank of America.
Okay, what are your positions there?
I'm what I call a market leader.
In that role, what would you describe your duties as?
I am responsible for 12 financial centers. So I'm like a district manager, I guess would be another term.
Okay. And are you familiar with the case that we're here today on?
Yes, sir, to an extent. Not to the full details, but I have an understanding.
Have you discussed this case with anybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anybody other than your attorney?
I don't have an attorney.
Okay, so who did you discuss the case with?
My wife,
Okay, anybody else?
I believe other ADP associates that called me asking me if I was aware that this was happening.
Okay, and can you describe the nature of those discussions?
I was called by one of the associates asking me if I had been called to ask questions pertaining to the case. And I shared that I had not.
Okay, do you know who that was or who those employees were?
I don't remember her name, but no, I don't remember her name.
So it's just one person.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you read the case? Have you read any of the filings, the pleadings?
I went online just to see, but to be honest, I don't understand the verbiage, so it wasn't too clear.
Okay. How long were you employed at ADP?
For approximately a year.
Okay. And why did you leave?
I felt that I was mistreated based on my age.
Okay. And did that have anything to do with Brett DiGiacomo?
To my understanding, yes, sir.
Just in your own words, just tell me how that affected you.
I was taken into the office after performing to the fullest in my capacity as an executive in training. And I was told that my salary would go from the base salary, I believe about $100,000 to $40,000.
And was there
demoted?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I was demoted to from an executive in training to I guess a field sales rep.
And do you know what the reason was for that?
It wasn't clear, as I was never written up for anything, and I was performing to the best of my ability, and actually was doing well.
Did Brett DiGiacomo take over your position?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know whose direction that was?
Objective form.
You can answer.
I'm sorry?
There will be some objections that may be laid out, and unless you're instructed not to answer, once that objection is laid out, you can go ahead and answer. So
It will be either Dean and his new leader that came in, that brought in Brett.
okay. Do you know Dean's last name?
No, sir.
If
I don't remember it.
If I said the last name Gross, would that ring a bell?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
During your time at ADP, were you familiar with a progressive discipline policy?
No, sir. None was provided to me.
Okay. And then would it be normal for you to use your personal email if your work email wasn't available to you or wasn't working? Did you ever use your personal email for work-related business?
Not that I recall, sir.
Okay. And do you know of anybody else that used their personal email, either was sent or an email from somebody at ADP to their personal email, or used their personal email for ADP business?
Not that I
Objective
recall.
form. Please note my objection, Michelle.
Did you when David Schwartz began working at ADP, did you train him?
Yes, sir. I was involved in the training.
Were you aware that David looked up to you as a mentor?
I would think so.
Okay. And did he generally follow your instruction?
Yes, sir.
would you consider him to have been a superior performer at ADP?
Yes, sir.
From your experience working for banks and referring clients to ADP, how are ADP sales reps viewed by those branch managers and bank employees in general, if you know?
Object to form, lack of personal knowledge, calls for hearsay, calls for speculation.
I'm just asking him what his own opinion is, so.
Same objection and object to opinion testimony as well.
I mean, you can answer.
They're partners. They're folks that help us help our business owners.
Okay, do you know if ADP sales reps, and if you don't know, you don't know, do you know if ADP sales reps are generally thought of as great business partners, or do you have any knowledge about how they're viewed?
I'm going to object. That calls for speculation, lack of personal knowledge, and that calls for the witness to provide unacceptable hearsay, inadmissible hearsay.
Okay, the proper objections in a deposition do not include those. So the objective form and other objections, as you know, but those objections are not proper objections during a deposition. But Mr. Navarro, I'll let you go ahead and answer that. I'm going to move on to a different line of questioning.
And Bob, you don't decide what's the proper objection. I'm going to stand by my objections.
Right, the courts do. Go ahead, Mr. Navarro.
Can you repeat the question? I lost track of what you're asking.
Yeah, I just wondered if you knew of overall if the ADP sales reps were viewed as positive or negatively by branch managers.
Object to form.
I really
Object to form.
couldn't speak to their opinion.
Okay. Did you ever hear David Schwartz referred to as Shartsy when he worked at ADP?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you know why he was referred to Shartsy?
To the best of my recollection,
I rephrased. Do you know why he was referred to as Shartsy?
Object to form.
from my best recollection, he showed up to an event late, and he shared that he had soiled his pants. So from there, the nickname came about.
Okay. Are you ever aware of any technical issues that David Schwartz had with his iPad or laptop while he was, or his email, his ADP email or technical devices while he was working at ADP?
Object to form.
I don't remember.
Okay. When you worked at ADP, was there significant pressure to hit sales and goals?
Object to form.
I would say the norm in any sales environment.
In all the businesses you've worked at, would you say it's the same, more or less?
About the same.
Okay. And what was Dean Gross's position when you were at ADP?
I believe he was an executive there. He led the team
And did you report directly or indirectly to him?
directly.
Okay. Were you ever instructed by him to use a false or modified social security number on client documents?
I never entered the documents. I didn't have the training to do so.
Okay, but had you ever heard of him instructing somebody else to do so?
Object to form.
I'm not sure if it was him or Brett, but I had heard that one or the other or both had done so. But I did address that with Dean once it was brought to my attention.
So do you know who brought that to your attention?
David Schwartz did.
Okay. And then did you say something to the effect of that this might be a test from Dean and we're going to do the right thing?
I don't recall exactly what I said, but I did take it to Dean.
And
Did bring it to
what
his
was the
attention.
reaction?
From what he shared, he was gonna go ahead and address it.
Do you know if he ever did?
Not to my knowledge. not in front of me.
Okay, so are you familiar with the Florida Department of Revenue Form DR1, sometimes called the SUI app?
I've heard of it.
Okay. Do you know that a DR1 did you know what one was prior to being employed at ADP? Had you had any experience or knowledge of it prior to working at ADP?
Not that I could recall, no.
Okay. And had you ever completed one prior to working at ADP?
No, sir.
Okay. And do you know what that form is used for, that DR1?
I can't recall specifically for what.
Okay. And do you remember if ADP ever provided instructions, whether it be to you or other AD employees, on how to either complete or submit a DR1 application?
I didn't get to go through the training, so I know it wasn't, nobody provided it to me, so I don't know what training they might have received.
Okay. Do you know if it was common for ADP small business sales SBS representatives to complete that DR1 form on behalf of a client?
I'm not sure when they would do it, or I know that it was done, but I'm not sure like if at what time frame. Again, I didn't have the technical training, so I never got to fill any of that stuff out myself.
Okay, so you were aware, let me ask you, were you aware that other ADP employees did complete DR1s on behalf of their clients?
Object to form.
When you say on behalf, I mean, they would do it, I would imagine with the client there, or the clients. I'm not sure when they would do it, sir.
Okay. And did you see any, while you were there, did you see any training or directives showing the ADP SBS employees how to complete a DR1?
Not that I could recall.
Okay. And are you familiar with the process of completing a DR1 form, the pages and the information that has to be filled in, or how you go about getting one, and whether it's online and all that?
I never got the training to do so, sir. So
Okay. Do you know if that DR1 form was long and complex as opposed to a short, simple form, or had you heard anything about that?
yeah, I don't recall the complexity or the length of it. I never got the training.
Okay. Do you know if the process for completing the DR1 application by an employer includes putting social security numbers of the employees or the employer ID number of the employer on the application?
Object to form.
I don't recall, sir. I never got the training, so I never got to input one.
Okay. Were ADP SBS sales representatives such as David required to sell simple IRAs?
Object to form.
They're required to present them. Yes, sir.
Okay. And in that presentation process, if they did present them, did they get compensated for doing so?
Object to
wasn't-
form.
I would imagine so, but I never really got to see the comp layout.
Okay. So you don't know if they got paid, and if so, how?
I would imagine they did from the importance that was paid in the meeting, but I can't share exactly what that looked on. I don't remember seeing any of that.
Okay. Did you ever sell an ADP retirement plan?
I was never on the system. I never got the training, but I did present the opportunity to one specific client when I was on the field.
Okay. And did you train others in relations to simple IRAs?
I spoke about what the simple IRA did, and I spoke about the process as far as having to have specific licenses from what I recall to be able to sell it. So I do remember sharing that we should present it or present the opportunity.
Okay. And do you remember what those specific licenses were?
No, sir, I don't remember. But I mean, I think in that realm, you have to have your Series 7 or 66. I believe some of the licenses I would think you would have to have.
Okay. And did you have any of those licenses?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. Do you know if the SBS sales reps had any of those licenses?
Object to form.
I wouldn't know if they did or not, sir. I
Okay.
wouldn't know what their previous employment had.
So do you know what a simple IRA does, or what can you, let me rephrase. What can you tell me? What do you know about a simple IRA as to what it is and what it's for?
Object to form.
It's a way to help save for your retirement.
Okay. Do you know who they're appropriate for?
For anybody who wants to save for their retirement.
Do you know what the contribution limits are per year?
I can't recall right now, no, sir.
Okay. Did you at one point?
Well, we believe so, yes, sir.
Okay. And do you know what a SEP IRA is? SEP.
Terminology sounds familiar.
Any further details you can provide me on your knowledge of it? Of what
Object to
a SEP
form.
is?
No, sir, I don't remember exactly what SEP IRAs are.
Okay. And do you know who they would be appropriate for?
Again, I would imagine anybody who's trying to save for their retirement.
Okay. And do you know the contribution limits per year at the time you were at ADP?
I would have known then, but I don't remember now.
Okay. Would you say that ADP is considered a big player in the simple IRA and simple IRAs and SEP IRA field?
Object to form.
As in contrast to who?
Just a big player compared to anybody else you know in the market that sells retirement plans. If you don't know, you don't know.
I don't know.
Object to form.
Do you know if there's a time where are there situations where a SEP would be the more suitable investment versus a simple IRA?
As I shared, I don't know the differences off the top of my head.
Okay. What was your role as it relates to David when you were at ADP?
As an executive in training, I will go out with all the team members on visits to businesses.
And then can you tell me more what you would do with them in that?
I would assist them in sales practices like overcoming objections, open-ended questions, just basic sales, and presenting the products, the ADP, and uncovering the need for the clients and being able to tie in their needs to the best products that ADP would have to offer.
And did those products include simple IRAs or SEPs?
If they were relevant to the client.
Okay. How about 401ks? Did you sell or did you recommend or did you suggest 401k to a client?
Object
we
to
had a-
form.
We had a different department that was just for that level. I think in our size, we would have to refer if we found something like that to a different level from what I could remember.
Okay, and back to the sale of simple IRAs, you mentioned licenses that you thought might be required and you didn't believe, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Did the SBS sales reps that you worked with, to your knowledge, have those licenses that you mentioned earlier?
I wouldn't know, sir. I wouldn't know their background for that purpose.
Do you know what's involved in getting those licenses?
Yes, sir. Extensive studying, and you have to be sponsored, I believe, by some financial institution.
And do you know if there's any limitations on a person who is not licensed as far as what they can discuss with a prospective client about a simple IRA or a SEP?
From my understanding, you could only uncover the need, but you cannot go into product or present the product.
Could you talk about rate of return?
I don't believe so, sir.
Could you talk about risk?
No, sir, I don't believe so.
Okay. And do you know if they were paid a commission on the sale of IRAs?
Object to form.
Again, sir, I would imagine so, but I did not have line of sight to exactly what the breakdown would be for any of the commissions.
Do you know if there was a difference in the pay structure or commission for the sale of a simple IRA versus a SEP?
No, sir. Again, I didn't have line of sight to their specific structure of payouts. Not that I could recall.
And do you know if there was a potential to override, or let me back up. Are you familiar with the simple calculator or retirement calculator?
I remember hearing about it. Yeah.
Are you familiar with it though?
Familiar as far as the functionality or the awareness of it existing?
Both.
I know it exists, but I don't remember exactly. Like I said, I didn't have the background training. I didn't get to go to training, so I didn't get that technical aspect of the business.
Okay. And did you ever witness sales reps selling securities as part of their employment? When I say sales reps, SBS sales reps, the one similar to David, selling securities as part of their employment with ADP?
I don't believe so. Not that I could recall.
Let me see. So you never used the simple calculator, correct?
I don't recall, sir.
And you don't recall if there was some questions it would ask?
Again, sir, I don't recall.
Okay. You don't know if there's an area on there where the salesperson could insert a projected rate to show a projected return?
I don't remember, sir. I don't remember.
Okay. Was there any kind of know your customer suitability questionnaire that reps would go over with a prospective purchaser of a simple IRA or SEP?
Object to form.
I apologize, but I don't recall. I know we asked questions to try to uncover the need or the fit, but I don't remember. And I apologize, I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember if there was a preferred family of funds when you were at ADP for simple IRAs?
I don't understand the question.
Was there a company that when somebody would buy a simple IRA that their funds were invested with?
No, sir. So like I said, I never sold an IRA. I presented one, but I don't know what they talked to them on the other side of that conversation about.
Do you remember if there was I may have asked this, so I apologize, if there was a differential in the compensation an SBS sales rep would receive if they sold a simple over a SEP?
I don't recall, sir.
do you remember any bonuses or contests or trips that were provided to ADP SBS employees for achieving or winning a certain number of for selling a certain number of IRAs? In other words, were there contests for who sold the most IRAs?
I know there were contests overall that the associates, based on their success, would, well, I don't think it was so much a contest, but they were rewarded with certain trips if they reach a certain level of success. But I don't remember specifically what the time would have been back to IRAs.
Okay. And
Not saying that didn't exist, I just don't recall.
Okay. And are you we kind of touched on this earlier. Are you familiar with the term FINRA registered representative?
I don't remember either you bring it up before or what it means.
Okay. And so I'm going to take it, but I'm going to, the answer is no, but have you ever heard of FINRA Rule 2341?
No, sir. Not that I could recall.
Did you know that FINRA regulates the cash and non-cash compensation arrangement with the sale and distribution of securities under their Rule 2341?
Not aware of that, sir.
Okay. Do you know that FINRA requires all salespeople to disclose all information, including the fund's expenses and charges that are related to that fund?
Not aware.
Sorry,
of that,
I'm
sir.
sorry, Bob. I hate to interrupt. You
ahead.
broke up, at least for me. Can I ask you to ask that question again, Bob?
Yes. The question was, did you know that FINRA requires salespeople to disclose all material information, including the fund's expenses and sales charges?
I'm going to object to the form of the question.
And then Mr. Navarro, I believe you said no.
I'm not familiar with that at all.
Okay. And do you know when a person is required to be registered with FINRA?
I'm not familiar with FINRA, so no.
Okay. And you don't have any FINRA licenses, I believe you said, is that correct?
No, sir, I don't. I don't have any licenses.
And in your time at ADP, did you actively monitor the sales activity of SBS salespersons to ensure they did not discuss investment-related matters?
When they were with me on the visits, I was just always aware of what they were representing as a company and what they weren't supposed to, but nothing specific to that.
Okay, did you tell them ever advise your subordinates that, or those that reported to you, that they couldn't say certain things to prospective customers while presenting the idea of a simple IRA or a SEP IRA?
Object to form.
I believe in one of the meetings that we were having with the team and that the IRAs were brought up, I shared my background and understanding that you would have to have certain licenses. I believe I shared with them in order to sell the product, but not to uncover the need for it.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, did any of your subordinates ever cross that line, so to speak?
Object to form.
Not while in my presence, sir.
Okay. Do you have any conversations with other ADP managers about doing things that did not seem right to you when it came to offering these investment products or these retirement products?
I believe I brought it to the attention of both Brett and Dean.
What did you bring to their attention?
Just shared again the same thing that I shared in the meeting.
Relating to the simple IRAs and SEPs?
I don't remember if SEPs were involved in the conversation, but I know it was referencing to simple IRAs.
And maybe I didn't quite catch up. So what was that discussion? What was the concern you raised with them?
I reiterated what I shared with them in the meeting, that to the best of my knowledge, you would have to have licenses to sell the product, but you were able to speak to clients to uncover the need for it. Just can't give rates or any of that type of information.
Okay, and when you had that conversation, did anything come of it? Did you get response? Did it just, what happened?
I think in one of the meetings, Brett went back and forth with me as far as what he was trying to say and what the information I was bringing up, but I don't remember exactly what triggered that back and forth. But I know it was around the conversation about the IRA when I kept sharing that we're allowed to uncover the need, but we cannot sell the product.
And did you end up with any resolution, or did you end up just kind of, you had your position and he had his?
To the best of my recollection, that we both shared our opinions.
Nobody changed course. Did anybody change course after that discussion?
I wouldn't know, sir. Like I said, all the reps that were under my supervision when we went on sales, I don't remember them ever crossing any of those lines that would uncover the need, but I don't remember any of them doing anything other than what I asked them or were shared with them.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a break. I don't think I've got a lot left, but we'll take a quick break and we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Now going off record, 141 UTC. On record, 201 UTC.
Alrighty, so I don't have a whole lot more to ask you, just a few things we want to touch on that weren't touched on before. Are you familiar with fines that ADP clients, payroll clients received, whether while they were with ADP or after they stopped doing business with ADP?
Object to form.
Not that I could recall.
Okay. And would you say that ADP is the largest payroll provider in payroll services provider in the United States?
I would think so.
Would you consider them to have a dominant market share in that arena?
Object to form.
Not sure what the size of the market share is.
Okay. Do you know if they are a Fortune 500 company?
I don't own any stock in them, so I don't know.
Okay. You said that David had advised you about a compliance issue regarding the Social Security numbers, and it was serious enough for you to report it to your boss. How long after you reported it were you demoted, for lack of a better term?
Object to form, and it mischaracterizes the prior testimony of the witness.
Did you report this issue regarding Social Security numbers to somebody above
Yes,
you?
sir.
And
Yes, sir. I reported it to Brett, to Dean, and at some point in time to Dean's boss.
you ever report it to somebody named Hannah, and I may destroy the last name, but Yurgovetskia from
What
Associate,
capacity was she in?
I believe Associate Relations?
I would imagine so.
Okay, and do you remember any response from any of them?
No.
And how long after you raised this issue did your position change?
I don't recall how long, but it wasn't too long after, I would think.
Okay. And that's when your compensation was cut by approximately 60%?
Yes, sir.
And at that point, were you removed or taken out of the chain of command with David?
Yes, sir. I became a sales rep just like the rest of them.
Okay. And did you attend team meetings?
Yes, sir.
And were the sales and commissions regarding simple IRAs discussed during those meetings?
I know they would put up everything on the board that was sold. So if they would have sold an IRA, I would imagine that would have been discussed as well.
When you say sold an IRA, it would be an IRA that one of the SBS sales reps, such as David, sold.
I would
Correct?
imagine so. Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you aware of any ADP executives or managers offering to pay or paying cash side bonuses to their subordinates or their employees for hitting IRA sales targets, such as on Venmo or some other form of cash payment?
Object to form.
The only thing I recall is an associate came in once and put money on the table and referenced, I forgot exactly what it was, but I thought he was kidding. I didn't take it seriously.
Okay. And back to the Shartsy, did you consider that to be a negative connotation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you know if David complained about it or expressed his dislike of being referred to as that?
I would imagine he would have.
And then, did you bring any documents with you today?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Did you ever object to any of ADP's business practices other than what we've discussed here regarding the Social Security number?
Object to form.
Not that I could recall.
Okay. And you would just, you may have answered this, but I want to be very clear. Was part of the SBS sales reps' duties to sell simple IRAs?
Object to form.
To uncover the need.
Did do you know if David ever showed concern with ADP practices that you witnessed?
When he came to me concerning the Social Securities, he did.
Anything else?
Not that I can recall.
Okay. Anything else you think that was enlightening for us to know about this lawsuit? Any information you have that you feel is relevant?
Object to form.
If you have any other questions, I can answer them, but I don't have anything else that would think of.
Okay. Were there role play team meetings? Did you object to those where they were talking about selling simples?
I believe that was the meeting that Brett and I had a back and forth.
And you were saying that it was crossing the line.
Well, I don't remember exactly what I was saying, but I do recall explaining what I understood to be the process that would be correct to follow.
So you felt that had an idea of what the correct process was, and what you saw didn't comply with that. Is that fair to say?
Object to form.
What I can say is that I clarified to the best of my knowledge what I felt was the proper processes.
And when you made that your position known, did Brett follow your recommendation or address your concern and change his way of proceeding?
Object to form.
I don't recall if any changes were made or not.
Did you participate in group chats with other SBS reps, including David from the Fort Myers area?
Text messages were sent out for the entire group.
And did you participate in those?
No, as a matter of fact, I asked to be taken off. But they
And
wouldn't.
why was that?
Just I'm a very private person. I don't like to be part of any of those scenarios.
Were there things in those scenarios that bothered you?
I would imagine if must have been, since I was asking them to take me off, but I don't recall the specifics, but I would imagine there would have been.
Okay. Do you still have those text messages?
No, sir. That was about 4 or 5 years ago, somewhere on that time frame.
Okay. Do you remember what your phone number and IP address was on your phone that you used while you were at ADP?
No, sir.
Okay. And were you ever contacted by anybody from ADP named Jeannie Fallon?
What capacity would she be in?
Should have been a higher up, possibly HR, associate relations.
I had conversations with HR and associate relations, but I don't remember specific names.
After your employment or prior to it ending?
I believe it would have been during my employment. I don't recall specific times.
And did you ever enroll a client yourself or close a deal for ADP for payroll services?
I never got the training, so I didn't know the systems. What I would do is go in the field and help sell and match the client to their needs to base to whatever it was that the products we had. But I don't recall ever actually clicking through the system. If I did, I don't recall. Again, I didn't get the training. I didn't get to go to take the technical training part of it.
Just a minute, and I think we're going to be just about done. Hold on a minute. Earlier, I believe you mentioned you had discussed this lawsuit with another person, and I wanted to get, who was that person?
As a chair, I don't remember the name.
Do you remember when it was?
Months back, one of the associates called me to ask if I had received any call concerning this.
And did they initiate that call then, I assume?
Yes, sir.
And do you know if it was a male or female?
Female.
And do you know if it was somebody in the Fort Myers area or somebody at ADP?
It was one of the previous associates. I don't recall all the associate names, sir.
And do you still have that? Would that information still be in your phone?
I don't believe so, sir.
Okay,
I'm not a very tech savvy person, so I wouldn't know where to even start retrieving or how long these calls are kept or what these call logs
Okay.
look like.
And you recall we talked about whether you completed a sale. Did you receive a commission on a sale?
No, sir.
Never.
No, I was in EIT, so I wasn't commission based. Well, that's a good question, because once I became a sales rep, maybe I did after that. Maybe I would have after that.
Okay, and do you remember if that was based on the sale of closing a payroll account or getting a payroll client to run, or the sale of a simple IRA, or?
It could have
Check
been
the
any of
form.
those. Like I said, sir, I don't recall. It could have been because I became a regular salesperson. So I would imagine maybe I did close a sale, or maybe did get any of or some of that commission scenario. I didn't stay as a small business SBC for too long. I couldn't afford the salary difference.
Okay, I don't have anything else right now.
Mr. Navarro, good morning. My name is Mario Ruiz, and I represent ADP. I've got some questions for you. Describe a little better what was your position as an executive in training.
As an executive in training, I was brought in to help sales associates to eventually lead a team like Dean would.
And you were working in the Fort Myers office?
Yes, sir.
Did you have any people that reported to you in your position as executive in training?
I'm not sure because I was in training, so I know that they were going ride-alongs with me, but I'm not sure if they directly reported to me. I don't think I was assigned a team, sir. I was just in the training capacity, and then I would go and ride-alongs with whatever associates, but I don't remember being assigned a team. Never got to that.
And you stated earlier that you were in the Fort Myers office. Is that correct?
I think it's referred to the Gateway office in Fort Myers, sir.
You never worked in any other office for ADP?
No, sir.
Where was ADP's corporate office? If you know.
I don't know, sir.
Was it in New Jersey?
I don't know, sir. I just know I went to somewhere, I think somewhere in Tampa for an interview, but I don't know. I don't think that's their headquarters.
You were not part of the executive in training in the headquartered office, correct?
No, sir. I never got to go to any training.
Did David Schwartz contact you concerning this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when was that?
I don't remember the specific dates.
How long ago, more or less?
Year or so, maybe.
And what did Mr. Schwartz tell you about this case?
Well, I remember it was a text message asking me for my address so I could get subpoenaed for the case.
Did you, was Mr. Schwartz's text message to you at all in a threatening tone?
What I can share with you is during that time, my father's health was very bad. I don't have clarity of anything other than that. And my father passed away in 2020 because of COVID and cancer related stuff. So I don't remember the date to that either. My wife lost her job and I don't remember the date to that either. So the tone would have made me feel uncomfortable because I already had enough things going in my life, but I don't know if the tone was threatening or not.
And I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry for your
Yes,
loss.
sir.
You okay? You want to take a break?
No,
Short
sir, I'm
break?
good. I'm good.
Let me know if you need a break.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Did you keep a copy of that text message that you got from Mr. Schwartz?
No, sir. I don't, like I said, I'm not a techie person. That iPhone is, I wouldn't even know how to go back to finding things like that. Like I said, it was about a year or so ago.
And after the text message, you spoke to Mr. Schwartz on the phone?
I don't believe so. I know I spoke with him before that, but I don't think I spoke with him afterwards. I don't believe so, sir.
Okay. Did you respond to the text message?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what was your response?
I provided my address.
So that his attorneys could subpoena you for this case?
Yes, sir.
And by the way, Mr. Goodman had asked you who you have spoken with concerning the case. You and I had a conversation about this case about give or take a week ago. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I apologize. I didn't think it referenced you and that. I thought it was maybe just other associates. So I apologize. I wasn't clear.
That's all right. Now, Mr. Goodman talked about an issue with Social Security numbers, correct?
Yes, sir.
I want to go back. Can you tell us what exactly did David Schwartz tell you about the Social Security numbers being used on the forms?
My understanding was either Brett or Dean or both shared with him to put the Social Securities to put Social Securities there that he didn't have to get through the first part of the process.
Okay, so Mr. Schwartz was in the process of bringing on a new customer for ADP. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
And he perhaps was missing a Social Security number or two that the client didn't have handy at the moment. Is that what happened?
There were, yes, sir, several Social Security numbers that were missing or he didn't have the numbers for at that point.
Okay, and according to Mr. Schwartz, what he told you then was that he was instructed to do what with respect to those Social Security numbers?
I guess to put in whatever numbers to make up numbers at that point to be able to get to the next step.
Okay, and these numbers that he was told to put in were Were these placeholder social security numbers?
As I shared with you before, sir, I don't know exactly how the system runs, but I would imagine it would have been for something of that nature. I don't think they were running the payroll at that point yet.
Okay, so it's before they're actually submitting these numbers to the state of Florida to run payroll, correct?
My understanding, sir, yes.
So these socials that, according to what Mr. Schwartz was telling you, were being input only for the time being until the actual social security number could be obtained from the client. Is that correct?
That's my understanding, sir.
Okay. And let me ask you this. In your time at ADP, you never learned of any customer or client of ADP receiving a fine or any adverse action by the state as a result of an incorrect social security number being used, correct?
Not that I could recollect, sir.
Okay. And as far as you know, you never became aware that anyone actually submitted an incorrect social security number on a client form to the state of Florida. Is that correct?
Again, sir, I didn't submit any forms with them, and I wasn't part of the process, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, you wouldn't know one way or the other.
Correct, sir.
All right. So when Mr. Schwartz came to you with this concern, what did you do?
I told him not to do it, and I told him that I would need to go speak with Dean and Brett and to make sure that they would address it.
Okay. And so what conversation exactly did you have with Dean and Brett?
I don't remember exact words or anything like that. I just remember asking them because, again, since I don't understand the system, I don't understand what they were doing or the implications of it. I just shared my concerns.
Okay, and what were your concerns?
My concerns would be that if you don't have the right social security numbers, it could be impacted. It could be an impact to what numbers you're putting in there, to the ones that those social security numbers do belong to.
Okay, and I thought last week you told me that your concern was that if by some mistake or omission, an incorrect social was used provisionally and then it wasn't replaced later with the correct social, that might impact the client. Is
Yes,
that correct?
That's what I meant. In other words, that if they didn't fix it before they ran it, from what I understood, that, like I shared, it would impact the client.
Okay. To your knowledge, that never happened, correct?
Not that I'm aware of, sir.
Okay. All right. And when you approached Brett and Dean, what was the tone of the conversation? Were you telling them, hey, listen, guys, there's something illegal going on here? Is that what you were telling them? Or
I
were
was
you-
asking for clarity because, again, sir, since I didn't get the training on the technical aspect of it, I wasn't aware of what the processes would look like. So I was just sharing with them, and I didn't know what they were doing or not doing in essence, and just bring it up to their attention what was being asked of David.
And tell me what the response was from Brett and Dean.
All I can remember is that there's something about they would address it, I guess, whatever that meant to them.
Okay. Do you know whether they addressed it?
Not that I wouldn't know.
You don't know one way or the other.
No, sir.
Okay. Did you ever hear back from David Schwartz concerning this issue after that?
I don't recall if I did or not, sir.
Okay. And was this a one-time issue that came up with the socials?
From what I recall that David brought to my attention, yes.
One time.
That I could recall, sir. Yes.
Do you don't have any knowledge of any other ADP employee ever raising a concern regarding social security numbers, correct?
Object to the form of the
Not that I
question.
could recall, sir. Not to me. I don't think any of them brought it up to me. I would have brought it right back to Dean or Brett.
Now, you had stated earlier to Mr. Goodman's questions that you had your differences of opinion with ADP, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you actually filed a charge of discrimination with the EEOC, correct?
Yes, sir.
You felt you were treated unfairly because of your age and your national origin, I believe. Is that correct?
I don't recall exactly the things, but I would think it would be along those lines.
Okay. The differences of opinion that you had with ADP had nothing to do with the issue of social security numbers, correct?
No, I didn't address it from that perspective, sir.
Okay. I mean, you didn't feel that there was any link between this conversation that you had with Brett and Dean about socials and later whatever issues you had, differences you had with ADP concerning your employment and your being demoted?
I didn't understand exactly why they did it. The only thing I could think of was the age difference and ethnicity.
Mr. Goodman also asked you about the Florida business tax application. Remember those questions?
Yes, sir.
I think he referred to them as SUI apps. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You don't have any knowledge of any impropriety at ADP concerning the filling and submitting of Florida business tax applications, correct?
I wouldn't even know what the right process would look like. So again, I didn't go to the training, so I don't know how they were supposed to gather information, when, or to the point of what the right or wrong will be around that.
Did you ever fill out a Florida business tax application while you were employed at ADP?
I might have, sir. I don't recall. Again,
Okay.
not having that technical aspect of it, I don't remember. But if I ran payroll, I would imagine I would have had to.
You just don't recall,
No,
one way or
sir.
the other. Okay. Did you ever hear a client of ADP complain about someone having filled out a SUI app on their behalf?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you ever hear of a client of ADP complain that they had received some adverse action by the state of Florida, whether it was a fine, a penalty, or some kind of something with respect to a SUI application that was filled out by an ADP sales associate?
I thought I could
Objective
recall.
form.
And you never became aware of any ADP sales associate having filled out a SUI app without the knowledge and consent of the client, correct?
I would, like I said, sir, I wouldn't know what transpired to fill the app.
Now, as an executive in training for ADP, you testified that there were sales meetings and that you, as the executive in training, made clear to everyone that unless you're licensed, you're not supposed to be selling simple IRAs. Is that correct?
I clarified that you could present or uncover the need, but not sell. Correct.
Okay. And when you said that, everybody was present at these sales meetings, all the salespeople, correct?
I don't remember who was there or who was not, but for the most part, the entire team, unless they were on vacation or some type of sale, I would imagine would have been there.
And did anybody contradict you and say, no, that's not true, we are able to sell simple IRAs?
Brent and I had disagreements on the specifics of it, but that would be, I think, the only one. And I think I clarified my stance on that.
Okay. And as far as you know, you never observed any ADP salesperson selling a simple IRA without referring them to the IRA help desk, correct?
Objective
Not-
form.
Not that I could recall, sir.
Okay. Explain to us, if you will, what is the role of the ADP salesperson versus the role of there's a help desk, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the role of the help desk with respect to selling IRAs?
I never got
Objective
to
form.
hear the full conversations, but what I understand folks will share with me is they're the ones that are really trying to identify the specifics of it, sharing, I guess, all the details of what would transpire to setting up, and I guess every other piece of the processor. But I never really got to hear any of those calls, so I'm not sure exactly what their role is, but I know that the role of the ADP rep would be to uncover the need and then call the help desk and let them explain the details.
And the people at the help desk are licensed to sell these products?
I would imagine, sir.
Okay. Okay. And once the salesperson uncovers the need, they then hand off and refer the client to the help desk for the help desk to actually sell the product to the client. Is that how it works?
That's how
Objective
it's
form.
supposed to work.
Okay. Did you ever see it did you ever see it work in any other way other than the way it was supposed to work at ADP?
Well, I think based on me making it very clear how I felt about it, no, there was no field rep that went out with me and would do anything different.
Okay. And you testified earlier in response to Mr. Goodman's questions that the pressure to sell, if you will, at ADP was no greater, no less than what you've experienced in your career at other places where people sold products. Is that correct?
Objective
Correct.
form.
I'm sorry? Mr. Navarro, I didn't hear your response.
Oh, yes, sir. I've been in sales my whole life, and I just always feel the same thing applies to sales positions.
And what is that?
You have goals to meet, and you meet them. I mean, that's the purpose of sales.
Okay. And in these other sales positions that you've had throughout your career, do employers compensate salespeople, reward salespeople for meeting sales goals?
Yes, sir. And they usually have some type of tier process where the more you sell, the more you're incentivized to gain from.
Is there anything wrong with that?
As long as done ethically, no.
Okay. And it was always done ethically at ADP, correct?
Every associate that went out with me did.
Object to the form of the last question.
I'm going to take a short break, confer with my my colleagues. So let's take, let's say 10 minutes.
We're now going off record, 2:31 UTC. On record, 2:38 UTC.
Okay, Mr. Navarro, thank you very much for your time. I have no further questions at this time. Michelle, please note for the record that I will object if counsel is now going to be switching and handing it off to Mr. Parrish. I believe the proper procedure is for Mr. Goodman, who started the deposition on behalf of Mr. Schwartz, to continue. So I would object if they're going to be switching off now.
I've noted the objection. I think we're well within the rules. So long as we don't have one person doing the actual direct and then have another person continue the direct, I think that we're well within the rules. So yeah, I've noted the objection. I'll go ahead with the redirect. Mr. Navarro, my name is Joe Parrish, and again, thank you for being here today. We appreciate your time. I represent David Schwartz. I'm another attorney with Parrish and Goodman. Just real quickly, how long did you work as an SBS sales rep?
I don't remember, sir, for a few months, maybe a month or two, maybe that. I don't remember exactly how long. I just don't.
Okay. And you had mentioned that the way it was supposed to work was that an SBS sales rep was to uncover a need as far as retirement plans go for existing ADP customers. Am I mischaracterizing that, or is that correct?
They're supposed to ask questions to find out if there's a need for a retirement plan.
Okay. And you had testified that you made it very clear that your position was that you would not be selling those retirement funds to existing ADP clients. Is that right?
No, I said I would uncover the need for them, but I would not be. I would hand it off to the help desk.
Right. So everybody knew your position with regards to that procedure.
Yes, sir.
Did you have any knowledge of other SBS sales agents crossing the line as opposed with regards to selling simple IRAs?
As I share, sir, all the associates that went with me follow the procedures, as I recall.
I understand that as far as associates that went with you, but did you have any knowledge, reviewing text messages, reviewing communications, anything of that sort where it evidenced that ADP SBS sales reps were actually selling simple IRAs?
Well, no, sir, because I mean, if they would say selling, I don't know if they meant presenting, and that's what they meant by selling, or they actually sold it like they weren't supposed to. So I wouldn't be clear on their intent.
Okay. Do you know of any, you had talked about the fact that these, sometimes these social security numbers may be placed on the SUI apps as placeholders. I think that's the way that Mario had characterized that. Do you remember that conversation?
Yes, sir.
Object to form.
Do you know what procedures were put in place with regards to those placeholder social security numbers to make sure that they were changed to the proper social security numbers before they were submitted to the proper government agency?
No, so as I shared before, I didn't have the training, so I wouldn't know what steps they had taken or hadn't taken to rectify if so.
And I may be done, just give me just 1 second. We have nothing further.
And I just want to clarify one point, Mr. Navarro. You never became aware of any incorrect socials being put on SUI apps, correct?
Not that I saw.
Thank you. Nothing further.
May I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just honestly, I want to apologize for my lack of memory of details. I'm doing the best I can to remember. As I shared, I lost my father last year. I don't remember the date. I remember the date my wife lost her job. I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. So I'm sorry that I'm like giving specifics, so I apologize to all involved if I don't have the great memory that I would hope to have.
Mr. Navarro, we all sympathize with your position. We completely understand that you don't remember things. And I do, I do want to provide my condolences on behalf of us and Mr. Schwartz. I'm sure that you can know that we sympathize with you. The one thing based on, actually on that statement, I did want to ask just one other thing, because you did mention that you talked to Mr. Ruiz after or prior to your depot today. Do you remember the substance of that conversation?
Yes.
And what did you guys talk about in that conversation?
Mr. Ruiz was asking me what I would know about the case, I guess.
Okay. Did he talk to you about issues with regards to the sale of simple IRAs by SBS sales representatives, or discuss how you should answer those types of questions?
He never told me how to answer any questions.
Okay. Did he discuss with you your role and an SBA sales representative's role in selling or providing or uncovering the need of retirement benefits for ADP customers?
We discussed IRAs, but I don't remember to the exact extent of what role played who or where.
All right. Did he ever talk to you about Social Security numbers being put on SUI apps?
Yes, sir. I believe that was asked.
Okay. And did he use the term placeholder Social Security numbers with you during those conversations?
Again, I don't remember the specific verbiage.
Okay. And I hope you understand, I just have to do my job in asking
No,
these
yes,
questions.
sir.
I don't mean any offense to you by
No,
asking.
I just feel bad that I don't have, that I wish I had a better memory for all involved. And I just feel horrible that I don't remember. I'm struggling with remembering.
I get it. I get it 100%. All right. Well, I really appreciate your time and I hope that things get better for you as you go forward.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Navarro, this is Mario Ruiz. Just a couple of questions. When you and I spoke last week, did I attempt to change your knowledge or testimony in this case in any way?
No, sir, not at all.
Did I ask you to tell the truth today at this deposition?
Sure.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Reader waive.
Mr. Navarro, you have an opportunity to, if this transcript is ordered, you have the opportunity to review it and make sure that there's no like grammatical mistakes, spelling mistakes, or other mistakes that were made during the deposition. Do you want to read your deposition testimony or waive that option?
I don't know what the difference would be.
Yeah, it's really up to you. I can't instruct you one way or the other. We just have to know if you want the opportunity to read through the transcript once it's transcribed.
I guess so, yeah. Wouldn't hurt,
Okay.
yes.
And a copy of the transcripts and video package, Mr. Parrish, or hold for now?
For right now, let's hold.
Now going off record, 2:47 UTC.